What does the biggest public donation in South Africa's history look like? If you're picturing a giant check for a new hospital wing, you're not even close. What it actually is an offer to buy out shareholders at a massive 60% premium. I'm talking about Curro Holdings and the Jannie Mouton Foundation. Hi, I'm Lindsey, Schutters, a business journalist at Daily Maverick. It smells like a deal, it's priced like a deal. But here's where it gets interesting. If it succeeds, Curro, an independent school network in South Africa, will be legally transformed from a profit-chasing machine into a non-profit public benefit organization. And that one small change could be the tectonic shift South Africa's collapsing education system has been desperate for. Because, let's be clear, the system is buckling. South Africa spends nearly 6% of its GDP, that's 450 billion rand, on education, but the results are closer to a national emergency. In 2021, it was reported that 85% of schools have no science labs, thousands still use pit latrines, and public spending per learner actually fell by 3%. Provinces like Gauteng and the Western Cape are flooded with over 100,000 new learners every year, creating massive backlogs. The government knows that it can't fix this alone, so Minister of Basic Education, Seboa Curro, has been calling for a last-ditch effort, public-private partnerships, or triple Ps. It's a plea for help, asking the private sector to pool resources and expertise to stop the bleeding. But here's the twist. Before this angelic donation, Curro wasn't exactly a flawless hero. And just last month, headlines blared about 500 million rands worth of investment from Nedbank. Sounds great, right? More classrooms, more tech. But as CEO Kobus Loubser told me, it's not specifically marked for a classroom or a field, but part of a broader parcel to replace debt. It was just refinancing a massive 2.4 billion rand debt pile to keep the books balanced. They weren't borrowing to expand, they were borrowing to manage obligations to shareholders. Worse, as the economy squeezed families, Curro lost over 1,000 learners in a single year. The mission of education was clashing with the demands of the stock market. So how does the Jannie Mouton donation fix this? By fundamentally changing the rules of the game. If you enjoyed this explainer, support our journalism by becoming a Maverick Insider. You'll find details in the caption below. Step 1. The buyout. The Jannie Mouton Stichting, that's foundation for those of you who don't speak Afrikaans, offers shareholders an irresistible mix of cash and shares in other successful Mouton-started businesses like Capitec and PSG to take Curro off the stock market. Step 2. Transformation. Curro legally converts to a non-profit company. The shareholders are gone, the demand for quarterly profits vanishes. Step 3. The reinvestment. Now, every single rand of surplus cash is funneled back into the schools for bursaries, for expansion, and for subsidizing fees. They can finally build schools in townships or rural areas, places that for-profit businesses would never touch because they just don't make financial sense. And what's better is, they already have a working proof of concept. Curro's low-fee Meridian schools were a financial headache for years, dragged down by expensive shareholder loans. But after refinancing that debt with a normal bank loan, the division rocketed from 12 million in the red to 19 million in the black. That's the model for the entire company. Freed from the pressure of shareholder returns, and it can thrive. And there's one more incredible kicker. To get government subsidies, an independent school has to be registered as a non-profit. Check. For its entire existence, Curro, the for-profit giant, was locked out of these government funding mechanisms. And by becoming a non-profit, this 7.2 billion rand private donation could unlock millions in public money that was previously off limits, amplifying its impact even further. But this isn't a silver bullet. Running nearly 200 schools is still a tough business. But it's a radical, provocative idea, using the scale and efficiency of the private sector, but for the public good. The management team will stay the same, ensuring stability. The mission remains to educate, But the ownership model changes everything. It reframes education not as a balance sheet liability, but as a public benefit. For once, a corporate deal might just live up to its name. A 7.2 billion rand donation to the future of South Africa.